All right, good evening and welcome to Sunday Evening Coffee. We're back for the second episode today, and still sitting right beside me is my beautiful wife, Crystal.
Hey! It's still like, Sunday evening.
It's like real life. Dillon can tell you, Cameron and Crystal interrupted every single thing I tried to tell them when we were sitting there.
We were adding details. A lot of
I don't know. I liked when Bryant went, that's okay.
I'll just finish when you're done.
I'll finish when you're done.
I seriously am so used to it because between Crystal and Cameron, and well, Vanessa is gone, but when Vanessa was here too, there's just no hope to get the story out. So, anyway, Jason and Jennifer down the other end of the table. And Dillon and Abby decided to stay over and do the second episode on questions with us. So, what's up again, Dillon and Abby?
Hey. I'm scared to interrupt you now. I don't want to hurt your feelings, Brian.
That's men respect other men. So they don't,
The boundaries, I get it.
So this is our third questions episode, I think.
This is the third one.
Yeah. Which we're almost at 35 episodes. That's a pretty big milestone.
Awesome. Wow. Should celebrate.
I looked the other day, and I think over all of our videos now, I think we're up to like 7,200 views total. So
it's really good.
And
we could go to dinner at Maggiano's to celebrate.
Yes.
We're supposed to Friday. I'm gonna. We end up going to the rodeo, which is fine. And Sophie ate the dirt. Let me tell you, she was doing the calf scramble, and you can see it. I videoed it. She is running. And all of a sudden, you see, her arms don't even go up. She just eats it.
Oh,
and she looks like a rocking horse. She rocks and shoots right back up and takes off running again.
And then afterwards, she said, "Mom, I have dirt in my underwear."
That was a pretty rough fall then.
It was.
Yeah.
And then yesterday morning at soccer, we didn't get home till like 11 something Friday night. So yesterday at soccer, we're sitting up tying her shoes. And she puts her cleat up on my leg for me to tie. And she goes, "Dad, I still have dirt in my crack." She said, "I went to pee." She said, "When I wipe, there's still dirt." So, there you go.
Sorry, Sophie.
Sorry, Sophie.
Didn't tell that.
She don't care. So we're still drinking a little coffee. Still don't have any cookies. We should have got a snack in between or something.
It's the same cup of coffee I want to
have.
have.
Is it?
Yeah. I just warmed mine up.
I got left some from this morning because we ran out. Yeah. I didn't even make new. Did you get more coffee?
Me?
Yeah.
I started to, but it was just the grounds.
Well, there's some.
I drank it anyways.
You can reheat.
There's the man right there.
Yeah.
I put it in the cup, so I just...
He chewed. He got a spoon.
And Abby won't drink coffee. Have you ever drank coffee?
Oh yeah.
But
just makes my head hurt and
you're not drinking enough of it. You get enough of it.
Put enough cream in there, and I think you'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
Jay-Z, are you still off the cream?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Still.
That's impressive.
I actually now, if you were to put down like different cups of coffee, I will pick the black one over. I prefer it black now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the man.
I just.
Come here, you want to say hi? Come say hi.
We were talking about you and the dirt in your crack from
the rodeo.
She got it.
Sorry. All right, so we have our question episode, and Dillon said his questions were not going to be that serious, so we're going to start with Dillon. So Dillon, what is your question?
I did think of a serious question just in case, but
okay.
I have the lighthearted
Ask
ones
them all.
first. Okay. Do you squeeze the toothpaste tube from the middle or the back?
The bottom.
The back. You gotta squeeze it. Why the middle?
I'm the middle. Yeah, and when it's time,
I just feel like this.
I roll it and crunch it up. And
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I take my hair product, which is a round canister, and I'll roll. When she gets done, I'll take it and roll it to get it back.
And then every time, it's perfect for me to squish it.
Yes.
Yep.
I even, as it starts getting low,
I cannot handle it.
I roll it up so she can't do that, and she unrolls it.
Because he gets it just perfectly ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'll roll it as it goes, and but yeah, it's just a squeeze in the middle. Just whatever happens, happens.
And I will wait to buy
Jennifer's
toothpaste
taking
until
over
I
the
cannot.
microphone just so you know. She's angled that to her like she is. Oh, did you want to talk about something?
About the toothpaste?
And then, does the toilet paper roll over the front or the back?
The
I
top.
don't care.
The
I don't
front.
even care.
I know. Okay, here's the
You
thing
don't
though.
care?
I've never met anyone that is adamant about it rolling over the back. It's always got to roll over the front. Now,
Right.
it either rolls over the front
I don't care,
or you don't care.
Yeah.
If you don't care,
Then
then just let it roll over the front.
Right.
Well, but
Just
do
however
you see
it
which way
happens.
it is before you put it on, like a new roll? Like, do you
No.
see?
And I
Oh,
lose
no.
my
Oh,
salvation every time
Yeah,
I use
it's
the
like
bathroom.
You gotta take it off and start it first,
Yeah.
and then put it in the front.
No, I just put it on there.
It does seem like in our house I'm the only one that puts the toilet paper roll on.
The girls will
and
set
it's
it on
always in the middle
top.
of the night.
Mm-hmm. They'll set it on the top of it in our house.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? It takes 30 seconds to.
They can see you, so you're not hiding. But don't hit the camera. Is your crack still dirty?
Poor girl.
I went
Yes.
to church today.
She did shower yesterday. So, yeah, it makes me kind of lose my
Oh
salvation.
my gosh. It's not accessible.
And also the amount, which we've talked about this, but the amount of toilet paper that we go through in this house, it's amazing.
Brian's a toilet paper Nazi.
He taught Sophie when she was little to use 3 squares, and I'm like, for the love of the Lord, if we cannot afford for her to use however much toilet paper
Oh,
When
she
she was
wanted
little, we
to,
really
she
couldn't
would
afford for her to
count
use more
them
than 3
out.
squares.
She would say, "Oh no, mommy, I only get 3 squares," and I'm like, "Oh heck no."
Savage.
Well, I will say I'm a toilet paper snob, and I grew up with Charmin, and I want Charmin,
Charmin.
the blue Charmin.
You're never too
the
poor
red
for your
one.
toilet.
But
That's the one that leaves dingleberries. Leaves Charmin strong.
We just went
But
there.
I want to say I did try Aldi brand this last time, and I was impressed.
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
we
We're
bought the
Costco.
I will do it
We bought the
again.
Costco brand.
I would buy it
I
again.
like Costco's.
Yeah, and it lasts
I
forever.
actually kind of like the Aldi better than Costco.
Really?
Really?
Is it cheaper?
Yeah, I think so. And it's
Oh.
like they're pretty good size ones.
We're on a budget, so it's cheaper. I'm all
Dave
about it.
Ramsey, baby.
I will
And
say.
it's blue. It's blue too.
So you remember the whole conversation about Crystal buying paper towels in Staples? You know, we were in Staples and she comes out with paper towels randomly because they were on sale.
I went in to get
They are the worst paper towels ever.
No
They
wonder
never
they're
tear
on
on the
sale.
perforated part.
No.
So you just go to rip it and it just rips wherever you're ripping. It's
And the rolls are
ridiculous.
like this big.
Yeah, that's why they were on sale. Anyway, all right.
Side
So,
note.
who wants to go next? Who has their question ready?
Mine's not quite ready.
I can
Okay,
be
go
ready.
ahead. What's your question?
And this is just a question. So if you all, do you feel like if you know of something going on with a spouse of a friend, what's your obligation to tell them?
Ooh, who are you talking about in particular?
Wait.
I know, right? So like if you knew that Brian was maybe flirting inappropriately or having an affair or
Oh,
going to
yeah.
the strip club, whatever, how do you handle that situation? What's the right way to handle it?
Oh,
It's a
jeez.
good
I know.
Well, I think
Because
a lot
it
of it
comes
has
up.
to do with how close your relationship with the couple is.
relationship.
Yeah.
So, but how do you handle it? What do you do?
Have I already talked to Brian?
I don't
'Cause
know.
I'm gonna go
That's
to
what-
Brian
I don't know.
first.
Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna go
the
talk to
question.
Brian.
So I think the deal is probably Crystal wouldn't go to Dillon if she knew that something was going on with Abby. She would go to Abby. But if something was going on with Abby, you wouldn't necessarily go to Dillon because that's going
Yeah.
cross gender. So that makes it a little bit tough. So maybe in that situation,
Talk to you.
I think we would both probably. You would probably say, "Hey, Abby's doing this, and we need to go talk to Dillon."
Biblically, I think going to the person is
Better calm
the
down.
right approach, but
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people don't do that. You just tell somebody else. You know what I mean? You go,
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
you know? Or I saw this, or whatever.
Pray for Abby.
Pray for
Yeah.
Abby because
That's
I
what-
saw her
See what it
kissing on
is.
somebody.
Yeah.
I
Dylan.
I don't know though at what point. I mean, because I'm
I
not.
know.
I wouldn't say I'm gossiping to you if something's seriously going on with Brian.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, Crystal needs to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't want to be the police of Brian. So-
That's what that whole boundary I had when I was in
Oh, geez.
years ago. Well, no, just the whole you end up getting in the middle of a mess, and if somebody doesn't want to believe something, they're not going to.
Mhm.
So you end up in a really bad situation very quickly. Like it can be a weird dynamic.
I think scripturally the right way to handle it is to go to that person. So if it's the opposite
I
sex,
agree.
and you take your spouse and go to them, and that's the only way to do it. You can't talk about it. I can't tell Jason, hey, you know what's going on with Abby, what she's doing. I have to go, hey, let's go talk to Abby together and say, hey,
We
know
see this and
this
think
is
it might
going
be
on.
an
We're-
issue.
I feel like Dylan needs to know that. So I think scripturally that's the way to handle that. And then if they're not accepting of that, then you take
See, I'm
it to
putting
the
it on
elders
Facebook.
and
Yeah. I'm gonna put a passive aggressive
Yes.
message
Take
that's
it
coded
down.
just
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who it is.
take it to the elders and take it to the church. So that's a great
That's what I'm
question.
doing.
So who we're talking about? I'm just curious.
Read my Facebook later. So that's my question.
That's a good one.
In this day and age, it's probably one we all need to know how to handle. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you guys ever like been friends with like a couple and like the one set of like this the two wives will get along really well, but maybe the husbands like just don't click. So
Yeah.
it's so hard to find like a couple that
That
all
really
four.
mesh.
We
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
that about this.
It's funny because we feel the same way.
Or
No, yes.
or I hate whenever you find a couple that like you really like and like, you know, like she'll get along with the wife and I'll go along with the husband, but like maybe she can't stand the husband or I can't stand the wife. And, like, you know, it's like, oh my God.
So when Robbie and Vanessa left, because we got along well, the four of us, and we're like, we're gonna have to start dating. We're going to date around. We're going to have to find a new couple to date because it's hard to find people that you do mesh.
We were kind of already seeing Jason and Jennifer on
Yeah,
this.
we were.
That was an easy transition.
But where you truly do feel like, okay, these are
Yeah.
people that are in our life for this season that you love each other in a relational way.
So the week
Friendship.
that Robbie and Vanessa leave, like we're standing on stage and Pastor walks out and looks at me, he's like, "You don't have anything to worry about." He said, "I'll be your daddy now."
That's uncomfortable for me.
Like, what?
That's awesome.
And,
So-
Brian would send me names. He's like, "You think we could date them?"
Oh.
I'm like, no. It's too soon.
I'm not over this yet. That's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
But that is really, I think it's a challenge. And I think you need iron sharpens iron. You need somebody to be around that
well,
brings
and
out the best in your
I think
relationship.
it's probably even more so in your situation because of your position at church.
And
it's
your
hard to
age.
find those people that you can let your hair down with, and not to say that you're not who you portray to be, but you know what I mean, where you can just be you and you don't have to worry about being on guard.
That
And I
extra
think
guard layer.
that's hard to not be on guard all the time when you're in that role. With you know, the people who are you're closest to know your heart, and so that's what matters as opposed to anything else. So
good.
that wasn't a question, but anyway,
Good comment, babe.
thanks.
Words of
I
affirmation.
appreciate
Words of
that.
affirmation right there.
Who's next?
I've got one, and I think this would be kind of more towards you guys might answer it, but being so young, and what is the hardest aspect of a dating / engagement relationship that people, the millennial generations, deal with, and how do you overcome those?
The hardest
things?
aspect.
The hardest aspect of keeping a pure relationship going and not straying away to worldly standards.
Because y'all deal with so much more than anybody else ever has.
I would guess the hardest part would be the concoction of the ideology that, yes, we're in, everything's at your fingertips and, the media, movies, what is portrayed as love that really isn't, on top of the fact that the concept that you're not supposed to get married till you're 30, like that, it's a recipe for disaster. But I think if you're following biblical standards in any avenue, be it love, sex, purity, your anger, your peace, your joy, in anything, no matter what the arena you're looking at is outside of marriage, just in life. If the bottom line is that I know everybody at this table and everyone, all of our close circle of friends have agreed that the Bible is the single moral foundation that we all have for everything. So with that in mind, it's hard, but every generation is going to have some cross to bear, and that's just ours is sex. That's our generation's cross to bear. So
I think that's probably every generation, but
I think it's getting stronger.
It is.
It is.
I was listening to T.D. Jakes the other morning. He was preaching this sermon on Israel and Jacob, and he was talking about how we all have both in us. We've got Israel that's praising God, and one hand that is praising God, and the next moment looking at porn, and that balance of we don't like to talk about Jacob. we don't want to talk about the bad. We don't want to talk about that we all have that sin nature that we're wrestling with. And it's not just porn, it's everything. But he was talking about how, your praise costs something, because you have to be willing to go, I still got this sin nature back here, but I am still praising over here. Even though your hands might be dirty, you have to be okay with understanding, I need to deal with this and I need to try to eradicate that, but you can't walk in the shame of that sin nature. So, and I think it's probably, with kids nowadays, it seems to be, because it is so easily accessible, I think there's not as much of a stigma, with the sexual sin. They're just, it seems
if there
to be
was, we
anymore.
wouldn't have the transgender bathroom
Oh,
issue.
yeah.
But at a younger age than it was when we were younger.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything that because I know like there's times that we'll look at an older generation, or I won't speak for everybody, myself, but I will look at an older generation and think, okay, you guys totally missed it. Like, you totally got that wrong. What are you thinking? Is there things that you look at the millennial generation? I mean, I'm sure there are, but I'm talking about like specifically in marriage, and think, you guys are missing it. Is there anything that you guys see?
I think parenting is an issue.
Parenting?
Helicopter
trying to be their friends.
attachment parenting, like not letting them. They've got to be with me, and they've got to just this very. I think kids have become idols.
That's what I was
in
going to
that
say. The
generation,
worship
your
of kids
generation.
is just so out of control.
Well,
and on up into the next generation, like the older, like I feel like kids have become an idol.
Because it also hurts where you got the single parents.
Yeah.
And because they're trying they've already messed up their life with their spouse, and so now, with their ex-spouse, so now they're trying to make it better with their kids, and so in reality, that's kind of hurting the kids.
Absolutely.
And so when the kids grow up and now become in relationships, they're going to see that modeled and try to go after the next big thing, and because they don't have stability in their life.
Yeah.
It hasn't been modeled.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely true. And I think one of the other things that I think is very prevalent, not necessarily in marriage with younger kids, but in relationships even, is it's more flippant. You don't take it as seriously. Not you as in your generation. But I think that
Starter marriages. We talked about that.
That was exactly what I was going to say. That I had this guy that told me, he's like, he said, I had a starter marriage. He's like, the next one will be more of a partnership. And I'm like, that's that mindset. I had a starter marriage. I had a starter home. I had a starter marriage. So it's interesting. But yeah, it's a good question too.
Yeah.
JZ2, what's your question?
All right. Is it wrong for a Christian to have a roommate of the opposite sex?
Roommates,
Roommates.
Yeah.
like paying rent, sharing a home.
expenses. Yeah.
Is it wrong?
Appearance of evil.
I think it's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything.
Somebody's gonna see somebody walking around in their underwear accidentally at some
Right.
point, and then you crossed boundaries.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the Bible that says no, don't do that. But I think as just a general census, you just stay away from it.
Yeah,
Common
I think putting off the appearance of evil is the only scriptural foundation for that. But I think that, if there's no relationship there, if there's truly no, promiscuity or anything else, then I don't think there's necessarily anything.
You're not going to.
But if you can successfully share expenses with somebody, and you need to marry that person. You found them.
Because love is a choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, Lord. If you can successfully be roommates with the opposite sex, you found them.
One thing we didn't ask in y'all's podcast was, are you on a budget?
Oh yeah, we got those envelopes.
Yeah.
You got your
Beat up
little
blue envelopes.
How's it working for you?
Well, we had been doing it really well before we moved here, and then moved here, and it kind of fell off because we didn't have rent, so our finances were kind of weird there for a while because we were living with his parents.
Look at all this money! They're laying on the bed.
Because we did live, while we were looking for a house in this crazy market, we did stay with my parents, and so we didn't have expenses,
Right.
And so while I walked into Pastor Bob's office one day, he was like, "Man, bet you guys are saving a ton of money though. And I was like, yeah. And when he walked into his office, I looked at Crystal and went, we're living it up.
Yeah. I know because of all the expensive
Morton's again
nuts
tonight,
he has on
baby.
his desk.
Yeah.
I know exactly which one would have been more responsible.
Speaking of which, that's the first time we were to dinner with you guys. Y'all were like 17 or something. We went to eat at Morton's for Valentine's. Do you remember that?
With another couple who's no longer married.
What?
What?
When did we do that?
With Pastor and Gail.
It wasn't
and
Morton's, it was the Palm.
The Palm.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's right. It snowed that night. I remember
It did.
Yeah.
snowed.
Yeah.
It did.
Anyway, I digress. Sorry.
That was-
So-
And all the
I don't remember
sweat.
that.
I'm glad I didn't.
And Brian
do, like,
shared way more information than
That's
he
what's
needed
up.
to. That.
Oh yeah, I remember it
Now you remember.
No, don't Google
So
it.
what kind of
Don't Google
information?
How we got to the church.
it. Yeah.
Crystal was invited while she was having a procedure done.
Really? That sounds even worse.
Yeah,
than
you
the
didn't tell the whole
reality.
story.
A procedure.
A procedure.
She was getting waxed. So,
He shared all the details.
just her upper lip. Nothing else. Your mother waxes your upper lip? It's a Christmas Vacation reference, sorry. Yeah, so that's a good question,
That was
too.
a good question.
Abby, you have a question?
Oh, man. I didn't really prepare one, but...
Okay, while you're thinking, and as a disclaimer, none of us are professionals. This is all
Speak for
opinion
yourself.
based.
Do not do this at home.
I'm a highly compensated question answerer.
Call your
Just
local
ask me.
pastor.
Our conversation is coffee.
That's right.
We are
Not even
professionals on the
cookies
coffee.
Man, I'm on the spot. I didn't prepare one.
What about the tithing question? That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was her
Yeah.
question.
No, that was your question.
Oh,
Yeah, the tithe.
well, I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, and I guess it could apply to a lot of different areas as far as spiritually. If one spouse is on one page and the other isn't, how do you deal with that? As far as like tithing, if one spouse is, leaning towards, yeah, we need to do this would be good for our family, and I believe that's what we should do, and the other one is kind of like, yeah, well, that extra money we really need it, especially if it's a family that's not financially really well off.
Right.
Man, we could really use that money towards something else. What
That's a
you
tough
do
one.
in that?
I bet it would be a lot easier in the situation too if the husband was the one wanting to tithe, and the
Exactly.
wife wasn't. Then vice versa.
Versus if it's the wife
Yeah.
wanting to and the husband's leading the home.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
I mean, for
Yeah.
us personally, I think it's always been confirmed. I mean, like if something comes up, a giving, we'll both have an idea on an amount, especially if it's, like a $20, $50, whatever, that's different. But if it's like a substantial amount, it's like, okay.
But if one
That's what I
spouse
felt
doesn't
like.
want to tithe and the other one wants to, like, what do you do there?
Like, what would you do? What would you do knowing you're supposed to tithe? And Brian was like, "No, we're not paying our tithe this month."
So it's like, then do I
Do you go behind his
behind
back?
him
Yeah.
and pay on at least my
Jeez, I
my
know.
income or whatever?
I think the answer is
Well,
no.
I
Yeah,
almost
that's
would say
hard.
the wife could convince her husband, say, let's try it for 1 month, and if it doesn't work,
Yeah.
then we'll go back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty bullheaded
That's good.
though, and like if I was
Oh.
against something, like that wouldn't work for me.
It wouldn't.
I mean, nah. I've already thought about it.
I think, again, when it goes back to submission, and I think scripturally, I think even though the tithe is scriptural, I think if the husband is against it, I don't think the wife should
What if he's not a
tithe.
Christian?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
think
what
of
I'm
it
saying, I
as if they're new Christians, and and they're still still understanding the biblical way and trying to lead, but don't want to give up that extra income towards whatever. If it's still party on the weekend money,
Right.
Beer money.
beer money or whatever,
Yeah.
that's what they would sacrifice. And I think it would be hard for a split household like that.
Gosh,
I
Yeah.
think it'd be very, very hard.
Especially as a new Christian, because it takes a while. You have to walk it out.
Yeah.
You don't do everything off the bat.
Right.
No.
It's just probably disheartening for that
Yeah,
one spouse.
I know that's one thing when we got married. I didn't tithe regularly. I tipped God. I gave when I felt like it, but He had always tithed, so it wasn't an option.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I probably wouldn't have gotten there as quickly if it wasn't so ingrained in who He was. So I don't know.
And it's interesting too when you talk about tithing. Obviously, we just got finished with the tithing campaign at church, but we one of the things that Robbie and Vanessa taught us was every year at the beginning of the year to kind of sit down and kind of plan out that year. Financial, what are your financial goals? What are your giving goals? What do you want to do? And look at that and look out in the future. And so this year, one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to give more, not just in tithe, but in offering into other ministries and things that we believed in, and being able to do that at a level that we never had before. And so two things. This week, one, we're now this week above what we tithed total last year. And part of that's the Dave Ramsey stuff, and part of that's just because that's what our plan was at the first of the year. And then two, there were some ministries that we wanted to give to, and this week in particular, I wanted to sow a big seed into this ministry, a big for us. And I wrestled with God. I mean,
big for us. Everybody's seed's different.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit easier. But it's big to you if it's your seed.
And so I wrestled and wrestled and wrestled for like 2 weeks. And my commission check this month, again, is by far the biggest commission check I've ever had in my life. And I don't say that to brag, but the number that I thought my commission check was going to be, when I got my final commission statement on Thursday and then got paid on Friday, it more than covered what this sowed that we wanted to see the difference. Like my commission went up more than this number, and so just like God confirming, so we were able to go and make pay another check to that ministry. But it's just awesome. It's one of those things that when you look at the tithe and you look at being faithful with it, and we don't do big gifts like that unless we talk about them. And so immediately when I found that was more, we'd already talked about giving to, and I called her and I said, hey, my commission just went up, more than what this even was, and this is what I want to do. And she's like, absolutely. She's like, I confirmed that in my spirit. So I think it's, when it comes to big gifts of offerings and tithe is not if you're a Christian, that's not an option. You don't have to pray about we're going to give this 10%, but the offerings.
It is less than 3% of people tithe. Isn't that right? Something like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not an option. I mean, scripturally, you can't go, hey, God bless me. I'm not gonna do what I'm supposed to do, but bless me anyway. So I think that's a really good question too. How do you get around that? And I think if you have an unbelieving spouse, you have to pray them in. If you have a spouse that is believing, then I think you call them to the carpet. I mean, I think you talk to them about the scripture in Malachi, and you say, hey, look, if you're robbing God, and so I think that you just call them to the carpet.
Well, and everybody that you hear story after story of people who say we couldn't afford to pay our tithe, but when we started, we realized we didn't miss the money, or you know what I mean, or something else happened, or we were spending that much on this anyway, or so it's like if people just trust God and do it, you see the benefit of it. It's just getting people to take that first step.
Has everybody had? So the final question, Edie actually sent this question in. Aww. So shout out to Edie.
Edie and her big belly.
It is big. She was reading a blog, a marriage blog, and so now when she finds stuff that's about marriage stuff, she sends it to me all the time. And this was one of the main questions on this blog was, do you ask your spouse for permission? And it was permission to travel, permission to give money, permission to buy something, permission to do any number of things. Do you have an agreement between your spouse where you ask permission for things? And so I thought that was a good question to kind of pose and throw out there. What do you guys ask permission about?
Apparently Hobby Lobby.
Or this in the middle of the Cinnabon.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you gotta bring that up?
I think for us, now that we're doing a lot better with the actual budgeting, and we've actually budgeted ourselves
Hobby Lobby money.
Blow money. For whatever we want to do. So I think, obviously that is not, if you have the money, that's not a permission. But if it's outside that realm, then yes, I think it should be kind of.
Like if I bought a couch and I came home with a couch, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Or if I wanted to go.
Don't even.
I come home from.
Tell the backstory.
Okay.
Goodness, you're making it sound like I literally was was like, I want a couch today, so let me go buy one.
In Texas.
If you're not watching the video, Dillon just ate Abby's face off. He was so close to her, it was uncomfortable for me. I'm just saying.
In Dallas, all the furniture in our apartment that we owned was like leftovers from my mom and my papa and all this. Like,
hand-me-downs.
It was all hand-me-downs, which is great. It's just first apartment. It's supposed to be that way.
It's great. It's great.
Well, I mean,
Unless you're the female.
so, I mean, my mom left us this nice brown leather couch, and it really was a nice couch.
Right.
But of course, it doesn't go with her decorating.
They said like the 60s flowers or something like that.
So it was a nice couch, and so I was like, well, I don't care what you do, but if you sell the couch, that's all the money you have for a new one. So she sold it, and I was like, okay, so this is how much money we have, and so we were like 3 miles from an IKEA, which IKEA is awesome,
nice.
but their furniture
Cheap.
is garbage.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Anything you're gonna sit or lay on, no. Tables, they're great, but like our first bed had like 1,000 screws in it, where I had to like re-put it back together because I sat down on it too fast to put my shoes on.
Was
But
this before you started running?
so we had this IKEA couch for like 8 months probably, I guess. And it was just garbage.
Yeah.
And
It
so
was
finally,
really low to the ground.
It was
very
looked,
odd.
Now it looked cool.
It looked really awesome.
So I was like,
And that's
okay.
how they sell it because
Yeah.
It looked
it
great.
looks cool. Yeah, nice
Yeah,
So
and I was like,
we're-
oh man.
We've been married for a little over 2 years, and we're on our third couch. With that being said, the IKEA couch.
It's true.
The IKEA couch. I was like, look, I don't care what you do, but we're
Yeah,
not
I
putting
broke
more into the
the
couch. I was like,
news to
so
him
if
that
you,
I need a different one now.
yeah, we've been married for 2 years, and we're on our third couch. So I was like, if you sell this couch, that's it. Like that's all the money. And she was like, okay. So
He goes out of town.
I go out of town.
That's what happened.
Because I had to go help with kids camp at the church we were working at in Dallas. So it is like 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, and I am beat. I walk up to our third floor apartment, and I open the door, and her and like 3 of her girlfriends are like screwing a couch together. What is this? But it was a really good deal, so I was happy.
Yeah, I have to tell this because I was really proud of myself.
The video's getting a little long.
So I sold
Are you good?
this couch for like $450 or something, and so I had $450 to get a new couch. So naturally, I looked at Craigslist, and
Which is doable for $450.
yeah. So I'm going through because I knew exactly what I wanted because I was like,
Somebody might have been murdered on it.
yeah. I knew exactly what I wanted because I said, I told myself, if I don't get what I want, I know this is just going to happen again. Like, I'm going to decide, I don't really like that couch. Yeah.
This story sounds familiar.
So, in my brain, I was like, okay, I want a sectional, and I want it to be gray, and I want it to be tufted. Tufted, whatever.
That's Jennifer.
And so I went on Craigslist, started searching, found this one, and he wanted, I think, like $600 for it. And I talked him down to $450. Went and picked it up with some of my friends.
Impressive.
My friend, she has her husband has a truck, and so we got his truck. Just me and some of my girlfriends went over there, hauled this thing. When we flipped it over to put it in the truck, the original price was on it, and it was originally $2,500, but it was brand new. The only reason he got rid of it was because he was getting married and his wife didn't like it. So
Didn't fit with our decorating
Yeah.
style.
Nope.
So is that your couch you have now?
Yes,
in
it
the
is.
house?
yes,
It doesn't
and
fit,
it doesn't fit in our new
Oh.
house. So.
It's a
So you
shame.
have
We're
to
gonna
buy
put
a
it.
new one?
I'm gonna put it upstairs in our little craft room, and then we're
And
gonna
save
get
it.
another hand-me-down couch.
So we're probably gonna start it over.
Show that original price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, make
So-
money on it.
Yeah.
So for us, we ask permission really for everything. I mean, silly stuff even. She'll be like, hey, somebody wants to go eat. Is it okay if I go out? With
Yeah, we do
so-and-so
that
to eat?"
too.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Because I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
You know.
And we've gotten really good about, I used to be really bad because my personality, I want a group of people around all the time. And I thought everybody was like that. I thought it was just really normal that everybody wanted people around all the time. So I would make plans and I would invite 10 people over. And Chris would be like,
You did what?
who's coming over? No.
I've not had time to mentally prepare.
Yeah.
Have
So
not mentally
it would
prepared.
be, I mean, that was a lot of fights for us. We've kind of worked out that system of figuring out that I can only invite somebody over one day a week, and otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. And that's,
That's not a fair statement.
it's not, 2 nights. But one of the funny things is, like, even with spending, obviously we have our little blow money, which with Dave Ramsey this time we reduced even further. We have
We can
$20.
buy gum. We
We
can
went
buy, like,
from
a pack of gum.
$40, and she's like, "We're going to $20." I'm like,
You're 25 and you really can't buy anything.
No, no.
It's going on day one anyway.
May 1st, done.
Yeah.
So anyway, we do have blow money, but we have if we're going to buy anything that's really over $50, we're going to call and say, hey. Are you okay with this? To the point, like for the beach, we had some stuff that we wanted to get, and we have budgeted for it. But even that stuff, Crystal was like, "Well, that chair's this. Do you
Are you good with spending this much of the money on this?"
But I will say one of the funny things, because Crystal comes from a background of strong women, but she was out with some ladies shopping a few years back that didn't necessarily share the same viewpoint of, the permission to buy things and do things.
I think permission sounds like a really bad word.
It does.
It sounds
Agreement.
agreement. Permission sounds like you're a kid asking, "Can I go to that?"
Yeah.
And that's not at all the context. I mean, just saying, hey, this is what I want to do. Do you feel like this is the right thing to do? And she was at the Coach store, and so she calls me and she says, "Hey, I really want this Coach purse." It's like 2 weeks before Christmas. "Hey, I really want this purse. It's
on sale for $350.
Yeah, whatever the number was." And I was like, and she's like, "Well, I just was going to tell you." And I'm like,
I'm hinting for you to go, "Baby, go ahead and buy that," and that did not happen.
which I'm not going to do. And so I was like, I said, okay. I said, it's 2 weeks before Christmas, and the Christmas envelope is empty, and I've already bought you something, so
Can you just take it back?
I don't know what, she hadn't bought it. And so I was like, so I don't know what you're wanting to know.
He was like, "That's
She's like, I was just going to tell you. And I was like, okay, well, that's awesome. I'll see you when you go home.
Yeah, that would make me so mad.
Yeah. So the ladies that she is with are like losing their mind. What are you doing? Did you just call and ask if you could buy that purse? And she was like, yeah. And they're like, don't you work? You can buy anything you want to do. And I was
Very
like,
different.
oh.
I'm like, that's not really how we.
So yeah. So
Because I wouldn't want him to go blow money that's ours, that's designated in life on whatever he deems important, which I'm sure I would not think it was important.
Right.
I'm sure.
We have had kind of a different end of thing. He's extremely giving, which is great. It's taught me a lot. But in that, there have been moments where we will be like at a table with people and he'll lean over and say, hey, we're going to pay for their meal. And I'm like, no time to like talk about this first, or
And you're like, well, I'm getting the
they just
thing.
ordered a giant steak and
I want to change my order to
Right.
one.
yeah. So
I would have an extra lemon.
yeah.
So did you all budget? Did you budget extra giving where you can do that now into your envelopes?
No.
No.
We haven't like specifically put that aside for that, but we have gotten better of being on the same page of we need to do this.
With the
or whatever.
envelopes that Dave makes you use, then once you agree on the budget, like I don't care what you like use. If it's in the envelope, just I don't care.
Yeah.
I have my gas money and my fun money, and you have the envelope. So
My thing is, if it's an envelope, we would potentially both need to do something out of it. I don't want to wipe it out
oh yeah,
without him knowing, hey, I'm fixing to spend all this on this.
In the beginning
just
of the
so
month.
you know. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and you talk about budgeting for that kind of stuff specifically. That's one thing we talked about because we're doing this marriage class now, and a lot of times people want us to meet them for coffee or to go eat or to go do something with them. And I told her, I said, I would like to put an envelope in place.
Yeah.
So we've got
Where you have the freedom.
not
So
a
you can't
ton
be like,
of
I'm
money.
sorry, we don't have an envelope for that.
Yeah,
So,
and
can't.
even enough money to say, hey, you know what? If we're gonna with a premarital couple and they've got an issue, I want to be able to say, hey, you know what? We'll pick that up. To have that flexibility and freedom to do that. And I think it's important when you're on a budget like that to make sure you do that because those unexpected things are what can really jack up your budget.
So with finances, even though we're both choleric, we revert to our. I'm sanguine, and she's totally melancholy when it comes to finances. Because I'm like, I can make more money. Like, yeah. So, but she's very much like she'll pinch a penny till it screams, and so it's fun. But again, like we're on, I've got my little spending money that's gone the first
Day
of the
one.
month.
Yeah.
He goes to
I'm
Sam's.
like, I need this new water bottle.
Literally. I'm like, but you have 10.
This is a new one.
Yeah. So it's good though.
Here's the thing, because his sanguine and his hard-headedness, he initially didn't want to be told what to do with his money either. So it was the combination. Doesn't want to be told and wants to buy what he wants when he wants. So I would get mad, not just that I wanted to pinch the pennies, but I just didn't want him out spending money that we hadn't talked about.
Yeah.
Don't be using the debit card and we haven't discussed it. Like, we have a budget. Writing it down does not make a difference. Like, we have to actually do it. So that was one of our big, not a big argument, but it was a point of contention, I think. I'd be like, no, just stop. Just stop. So.
Yeah. and she laughs because I like to spend money on food. She likes to spend money on stuff. And so as my income has gotten better, that's still the struggle with us. Even though we have a budget, we'll be like, oh, but we have this over here. Let's go eat
we have
this.
Every dollar has to have a name.
And she'll be like,
This
she
name
even said,
is mine.
yeah. She even said the other day, she was like, I really want to buy this, and we have a little bit extra money right now.
We haven't named them yet.
Yeah. The key is to hurry and spend it
it.
at the beginning, as soon as that money gets in, before you split it in the envelopes, because it's like, well, this is
What in an envelope?
Yeah.
I did send her a picture the other day because I knew Father's Day and my birthday's coming up, and so I sent her a picture of her grill at Sam's that I really, really wanted, but she didn't bite. So
It's kind of like that Coach thing.
Thank you.
Except it was $1,200. It was like a nice big grill with a green egg.
I said, do you
attached
really
to
want
it.
me to go buy this?
Like
And he
that.
said, no. And I'm like, because I mean, you're the one that's making the money.
Yeah.
I'll go buy it.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of
Don't
code
buy
for
it.
you.
Yeah, no.
You really
Don't
want to
buy
do it.
I said, this is what I said. I said, no, don't get it. I really don't think they make a cover big enough to fit over that. I mean, it's like as long as this table because it's like a huge grill and this big green egg. So.
he's, yeah.
Anyway,
Brain going.
it's nice.
It's hard right now, I think, in this stage of life because like everything I want is like $10,000, and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
she wants like $20.
Yeah.
Well, it is
$20
because-
or $20,000?
you know,
$20. She's like, I want 13 of these $5 candles, and I'm like, yeah, well, I want a jet ski.
I'll get you the candles. You give
Men's
me the
toys are so much more
They
expensive
are
than
very
women's.
expensive, yeah.
And for y'all to realize that, I think too, something that happens, especially when you get married young, and especially with this generation where everything is so, I don't know, instant, is that it takes time to get to where the people you're watching or your parents or whatever, it took them a lot of years to get there versus I'm going to put it on a credit card and have it today.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in that mindset. So
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Financing.
It's tough.
no.
Maybe I should have a jet ski.
No. You should.
God
When-
says you should have a
You should have a good
You have the cash to
friend.
pay for it?
No.
I have access to. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You need to get a
I'm
good
like,
couple
you
friend.
do? Where is that?
Couple friend that has jet
We don't
skis.
need new carpet.
Or
I
couch.
would.
That's not a bad stain.
Yeah.
Blood over that. Could put some water on that. So that's it. So that's our questions.
That's good.
Just a few of them.
Good questions.
Clay Walker, who may be coming to church apparently, for
I love Clay
yeah.
Walker.
the rodeo,
I don't even know who he is.
sings a song called "Just a Few Questions." It's a great song too.
No.
It's questions he wants to ask.
You guys know Clay Walker?
I know
It's
that.
About
90s.
it.
It's 90s
Come
country.
on, I know
What's that?
Walker's.
I may know his
He's
music.
so good.
I hated country.
She's a country. See,
So
these,
good.
these two are the country.
90s country.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I like all the way back, but yeah, '90s was good too. So, all right, that's it. Hey, thanks for sticking around
Yes,
and doing
thank
some
you.
questions
Thank
you.
with us. You guys were fun to have on. So, all right, sundayeveningcoffee.com. It's the website.
SundayEveningCoffee.com.
Yeah, you want to do it? You can send us an email to sundayeveningcoffee@gmail.com and we'll reply right away. Send in your questions because we like when people send in questions, and we at this point now I think there's only 2 left that we haven't gone through that people have sent in, so we need some more because we try to do 5, so we need at least 3 before the next time we record.
And go.
So Rachel, send them in.
Right, that's right.
All set.
Rachel.
Oh,
Robin listens too. Robin, you should send some in.
Scarlet.
Scarlet.
We'll start naming people.
Phyllis listens. There's lots of people that listen regularly. So, all right, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time.